There's an Einstein quote that goes, "The significant problems that we face cannot be solved with the same level of thinking that created them." Let that sink in for a little bit. A couple years ago, I was honestly in bed, depressed, honestly, no direction in life. And I was just ruminating over all my problems, all my issues, how life was woe is me, etc., etc. And honestly, almost thought about kicking the bucket because I was just honestly didn't really know what to do with my life. I was just in a very dark place. I let myself go. I left my job. And honestly, it was just a very depressing moment in my life. But as I lay there in bed, um, I didn't want to give up. That was my biggest thing. I didn't want to give up. And so if you're in that position where, you don't know where to go, don't know what to do, but you're still thinking and feeling in the same sense of same way of a problem that you're dealing with, then this might help. Maybe not, maybe no. But I can only tell you my story. I remember when I made a choice. I said enough was enough. I started reaching out to everyone. I started thinking my issue is that I am thinking in a way that is making and creating a problem in my life that I can't solve. And because I'm so close to the problem, I couldn't see any solution outside of it. So what I did, I saw other people's inputs. I saw other people, what they could provide, what value they could see it provide in helping me improve my life. Because I've always been a guy big on self-improvement, big on self-development, always wanting to improve and be the best version of myself. But when I got to that point where I hit a low and I didn't know any way to improve, and honestly, I just didn't have the energy or the motivation to move forward. So I was like, okay, what do we do here? How do we start? And so, guys, it was a weird experience. I'm not gonna hold you. Take it with a grain of salt. It's just my experience. I can't explain it any other way. But I remember after a year of hitting rock bottom, I decided, all right, let's just start doing whatever we can. So I started reading more books, started learning how to improve myself, how to change this thinking brain. Because the issue was that the way that I was thinking was very limited. I lacked awareness in myself, in the people around me, and in life in general. So I was like, all right, so the best way, the easiest way that I thought to raise my awareness, to raise my thinking, was to read more books, to educate myself. And one of the best books that I ever read was, you guys are going to hate it, it was the Bible. So I made a commitment to read the Bible from start to finish, Old Testament and New Testament. Now, there was a good experience and there was some bad experiences with that. I'm not going to get too much into detail with that. But I remember one night, and this night, guys, this night really stood out because, I remember getting on my knees, pause, and praying to God and saying to God, like, just show me that I'm going the right way. Just tell me that I'm doing the right thing. Or right, I don't know about you guys, but I was looking for some type of confirmation. Please, man, I need some help. I'm drowning here. And I think it was King Solomon. I was reading Solomon, and one of the things that he asked for himself was, God asked him, what did he want? He could give him riches, kingdoms, all the money, all the women on the world, and he asked for wisdom. So in my prayer, that's what I did. I asked for wisdom. And so I go to bed that night. And that night actually changed my life. Because when I was in my dream, I was in a dream and I was walking along this beach. And, I just remember on this beach, some entity, some energy walking with me. And we're just going down this path. And, to my right, I see a pile of crocodiles. I was like, guys, I didn't know what that meant. So I did Google it. I researched it. Don't remember now, but I'm sure you can go and search it yourself. But I saw a pile of crocodiles and I'm like, that's weird. Kept on walking. And then at the end of the day, I saw this shadowy figure at the end of this road. And this thing was pointing downwards. It was in a hatch. Now, I'm sure some of you guys will be like, oh, let me go the other way. Let's run away. But honestly, I was so invested in this journey that I was going, this walk. And then honestly, it was the only path I could go through that I opened the hatch and I went down and I got in there. And so now I'm in this place filled of light. And it's just honestly the best way I can help you picture it is just images were around me everywhere. They weren't mine. Some of them were, but honestly, I couldn't really make a lot of it out. So I was just surrounded by different visuals, different scenes, different experiences. And, I'm just like walking and I keep walking on this path, not knowing what to expect until I got to the end and everything got dark. It was just dark and I couldn't see anything except one speck of light. I saw this speck of light and I went to that speck of light and I tried to open it up. And the light opened it up and I was in a room. Best way I can define it is a cave, to be honest. And on that cave, there was some type of writing on that cave. Now, guys, I only got 2 words out of there. I'm going to be honest with you and just tell you what those 2 words are. It said Christians are. That's it. It said Christians are. Before I could finish the sentence, before I could finish reading what was on this wall, my head forcibly was being turned against my own will away from seeing and reading what was on this cave wall. And in that moment, I felt this swell of energy well up from within me. And I was just charged up. It's like I was going Super Saiyan. That's the best way I can explain it. I was going Super Saiyan in this dream. And as soon as I completely turned and I didn't have any control. I was very scared at this point, very fearful. And I remember just saying, and that this has always calmed me down. And every time when I get to a dream when I can't control myself, I said, Jesus Christ is my Lord and Savior. And just like that, I wake up from the dream. And so I'm up from this dream now. And the craziest thing that happened was I was buzzing with that same energy that I had in the dream. Here I am awake for 30 minutes straight, just on fire, buzzing. Now, could have been the Holy Spirit, could have been something. I don't know. And honestly, I don't have the answer. This happened years ago. But I know that moment never left me. Because it was a turning point moment in my life. That's when everything changed for me. And so now I'm buzzing. And, after 30 minutes, it's like midnight right now. I remember going to bed like 9 o'clock. It's like midnight. And I'm just like, oh man, that was crazy. Like, wow, that was nuts. And so I was like, I go lay down in bed. I was like, you know what? I got work tomorrow. It was a Sunday. I was like, I got to get into the office tomorrow. At the time I was working as an accountant. And I was just like, all right, okay, man, that was a good experience. Let's just go to bed. Let's go to work. So I'm in bed, right? The energy is gone at this point. And I'm just laying there. And I'm like, wow, that was a weird experience. And I'm just like thinking about it. And out of nowhere, I got shot up with another jolt of energy. And this time, guys, I'm awake. This did not happen in my dream. I am fully wide awake and I got rejuvenized. And the most important lesson that I learned from that experience is that the energy came from within. Came from within me. And at this point, I'm charged up. I'm like, maybe this is the sign that I've been waiting for. Wasn't clear, but it was a sign nonetheless. It wasn't clear, but it was a sign nonetheless. And so I woke up the next day to go to work. And honestly, I'm telling everybody. People are looking at me crazy, thinking, man, come on, stop this nonsense, dude. And I was just like, just when you want to share something profound happened to you. And I remember going to work, I was like, feeling groggy, no low energy. It was like, whoa. Like God, like I thought we just had an experience here. I thought that experience was the sign that I'm on the right path. And then another day goes by, and another day goes by, and another day goes by. So for 4 days straight, I just feel the worst I've ever felt in my life. Just low energy, not aligned, detached. And I don't know what the problem was. I really didn't know what the problem was. And then I realized I had to jump. And so I made a decision. And I remember, writing my letter of resignation for my job. And guys, I've been planning to leave my job for a while. I was saving up money. You want to have some at least 6-month expenses. Don't just jump and leave your job. But I didn't know what the plan was. Didn't know what the journey was. But I knew one thing. I was going to trust in God. And it's been a roller coaster of a journey. But during that moment, I wrote my letter of resignation. The headache, the feeling, the drained energy that I felt immediately disappeared. I felt recharged right up again. So I was like, okay, God may not speak in words all the time, probably speaks more intuitively, and I have to just pay attention. And sometimes I don't get it right, nor should you. But I knew in that moment that I had to jump and rely and be. I had to decide to trust myself. I remember, my manager trying to persuade me to stay. Like, we need you. They're willing to, he was like, you should stay. Like, it's COVID. It's about to be COVID. And this is around the COVID time. It's about to be COVID. What if you need health insurance? What if you need this? What if you need that? Blah, 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 blah. Fear. That's all I heard. Fear. Trying to fear me into staying into a position that I honestly hated. Why would I stay? And you weren't going to give me any more money. So it was a moot point. I was like, nah, I'm good. I'll be all right. God got me. And so I decided to take a jump. And on that jump, I went through a journey, an experience. And hopefully I'll share some more stories with you guys. But the reason I wanted to share that story is because I wasn't able to become more than I am because I kept on seeing myself in the same light. I kept on thinking about my problems in the same way. I was running through the same patterns over and over again, and nothing was changing. It was like I was on a hamster wheel, constantly trying to chase after the carrot, and nothing was changing until I decided to just get off the hamster wheel and take a break and figure out what did I want to do. And on that journey, I've done a lot of things. I've done high ticket sales, I've done coaching, done dating coaching, just jumped into a lot of experiences, wholesaling, stock market. Like I was just literally just trying a bunch of things and seeing what I liked, what helped me what was going to help me get me closer to whatever the ideal version of me or my purpose, which I still don't know what the purpose is, but I do think when you're deciding your purpose, it's just whatever you decide, right? I feel like the path that I've taken up to that point was a path that I didn't choose. I did it because I wanted to be a great son. I did it because I wanted to make my dad happy, make my mom happy, make my family happy. I did everything that they wanted me to do. And honestly, it just made me unhappy. Spent my whole life trying to please other people, make other people feel comfortable. And it's just a waste of time because all they do is just take, and take. And most of them never give it back. So I decided from that point forward, nah, I'm good. I'm all set. No longer. So the reason I share this story is because there was a problem within me. The problem wasn't outside of me. It was within. I had an issue. My inner feeling state, how I felt about myself, this core person that I was, didn't feel right. I didn't feel my most confident version. I didn't feel like the most satisfied individual. I felt just depressed, low energy, guilt, shame, all of it. And those feelings reflected in my environment. And I realized what I needed wasn't to change my outer world. What I needed was to change my inner. I needed to heal the person inside because I spent so much time running away from him that I never had a chance to get to know him because I'm always going to be with him, me, this version of me. So I say that in the sense that the key thing that I learned from that experience, and honestly up to this point of just studying universal law, principles, spirituality, the Bible, is that, the universal law is all law of mentalism, right? All is mind, right? And law of correspondence as above, so below. So however how you feel inside is going to be expressed in your eternal reality. But at the same time your inner world creates your outer world. I also believe your outer world creates your inner world. You see, all my experiences were based off of things outside of me. And I've internalized them from the viewpoint of a child, right? I was trying to make other people feel comfortable and happy when, like I said, that was a losing battle. See, my thinking, my inner world, the way that I thought and felt were out of alignment with my outer world, or what I ideally wanted my outer world to be. And so I think that experience that I had with God or spirit or whatever it is, whatever makes sense for you, it taught me an important lesson about healing how you feel inside. Making sure that you're okay. Making sure that you feel great. Making sure that you can show up as the best version of yourself, and making sure that you build a world, a life that's worth living to you. No one else. Because you decided that life. Because you built that life. Not a life based on suffering, but joy, peace, love.